Yes, people, if you are looking for a quality, vintage, modern, classic football shirt, get yourself over to okjersey.com. Selling shirts for around £15 and shipping to Europe with orders over £50. Make sure you treat yourself. Use the discount code BBN for 8% discount. Get yourself a new modern vintage Everton shirt. Treat yourself to something weird and wonderful. Treat yourself to a kid's kit, whatever you want. Make sure you get yourself over to OK Jersey. Sizing is literally on the website, just there. The price ranges are there. The sizing is there. You can pick your patches, your standards, your player numbers, the works. Treat yourself. Get yourself over to okjersey.com.
What's going on, everyone? It's Mike, it's John back again, and this is like a little news video, probably a little bit more of discussion around the game tomorrow, various results today. And John, look, I want to get straight into it. Big shout out to our sponsors, of course, Aviate, Flyers, and OK Jersey. Get yourself on the website. We've also got that big night with Neville Southall. So big night. Tickets are in the description below. Make sure you get on them because they're selling out quickly. So if you want to come, get on it now. Results today.
Yeah, you know, West Ham winning hasn't helped Everton's course. And listen, we're 9-10 games in and we shouldn't be talking about this. People will say it's a bit early to be talking about relegation, but as we said on last night's video, mate, you know, you don't want to be in and around that come Christmas, because once you're down there, it's hard to get away from it. And, you know, I'm just looking at the league table now. Everton are 15th with 11 points. West Ham are 18th with 7. So, yes, the goal difference is quite a big margin, but it's literally 3 points from the bottom 3. As I've just said to you before we went live, you know, the results did go our way this weekend. Obviously, Forest got a draw out of Man United. Leeds getting beat, Burnley getting beat, but West Ham got that victory today. And I watched the game, mate. It was a well-deserved victory. It looks like Nuno's stamping his style on the way they play now, and he made a lot of changes today. And yeah, he got a performance out of them. And this is what Everton need to do, mate. You know, Nuno come in. He made numerous changes today. I think it was 3 or 4 changes. This is what we need David Moyes to do. We need David Moyes to now look at the setup, how we've been in the last 7 games winning 1, how we've been beat. Certain players aren't pulling their tripe out and not doing much. Make changes, make tactical changes, formation changes, setup changes. Because Nuno done it today, mate, and it worked. And we said this on last night's video. We need to throw a curveball now to the opposition managers, because we've become very readable over the last 6 weeks. You know, how we've been playing. It's not hard to figure Everton out, what game plan they're going to have. So he needs to change that now, because we've seen it today. Nuno done it, and it worked a treat.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's really weird, isn't it? Because, you know, at the start of this season, we were looking up. We wasn't looking down. We wasn't looking over our shoulder, and we are now. You know, we are now. When you take out that result against Brighton and Wolves away, and then obviously that Palace result last week, or the week before, sorry. You sort of do sit there and you think, where are Everton? Do you get what I mean? Where are we? Are we a 15th, 14th? Are we a 10th? Or do we actually have the capability of being 5th or 6th? It's I don't know. It's been a really weird start to the season for me. You know, it's a mixed bag. We've 4 defeats. Is it 3 wins, 2 draws, and I almost feel there's been more made of Everton than probably is deserved. You know, I was talking to my friends last week, and people were saying that Everton have made a good start to the season, and I was like, we haven't made a good start. And then when you look at it, it's this narrative around this big stadium, and, you know, all the media, the fact that we're on telly constantly at the minute. I mean, we've been on telly all the time, and I just think the perception of Everton is slightly wrong. I think we're not as good as people think. Not because we don't have the players, by the way, but at this moment in time, in my opinion, there's one area that's holding us back significantly. There's other areas of the team that are holding us back as well. You know, I mean, 2 strikers, left and right back, I think are holding us back. But when you sit there and you look at the situation, it's kind of difficult to know how to fix it until January. You know, rumours come out the other night of Richarlison being really eager to come back to Everton. And look, I think it happens. I really do think Richarlison comes back. But we feel very much at the minute flat. We feel flat in my mind, and it's sad.
I don't know what Everton are at the minute. I don't know what Everton are. And listen, I've always been a big advocate of the league table doesn't lie. It doesn't lie. And, you know, we've spoke on this channel many times about our start. It was an okay start. Then it became an average start. Now I'm looking at it now. I'd actually probably go as far as saying it's been a poor start. 1 in 7 is not a good run of form, and it's not. And people can sugarcoat it as much as they want, and you know, people will probably drop in the comments, well, we're suffering because we haven't got a striker. Yes, the striker situation that we're in has got a lot to do with it, but I also think Everton would have more points if there was more tactical changes by the manager and different setup and different team selection. So listen, we done our prediction video, and we done 2. I think my first one, I predicted Everton finished 8th. Now, I don't see Everton finishing 8th this season, even if we get a half-decent striker in January. I don't. Now, at the minute, you know, I said when I started talking about this, what are Everton? What are Everton at the minute? And Everton are 15th in the league, and I'm going to say it now. I think that's where Everton deserve to be. I think Everton, at this moment in time, are a 15th place team. They are, you know, and again, I keep saying the word sugarcoating it because there's certain fans out there that were sugarcoating it and they've got the blue tinted glasses on, and we've had some nice comments since last night's video because me and you said, you know, we're trying to be positive because people have had a pop at us and people have saying this is why people like the channel, or the majority of people do, because we say it how it is. We don't sugarcoat it, and we speak for a lot of fans' feelings, not all fans, not the majority of fans, but how Everton fans are feeling now. And me and you have started having this narrative about the football club, I'd say, over the last 3 or 4 games, going back to what I said before. What are Everton at the minute? And I think now you're starting to look at it like that, and a lot more of the fan base is starting to look at it like that as well. And I don't know, until something clicks and he makes changes, we're so predictable. And again, I keep going back to this. We know on their day what this team can provide. We've seen good halves of football. We have seen it. We know they can do it, but we're just not doing it enough, and we're not putting a half of football into a full game, or 2 halves of football in different games into a full game, and not doing it for 90 minutes. And you know, I can sit here now and hand on heart, I can honestly say I don't think Everton have put a performance in for 90 minutes this season. We're 9 games in, 10th game tomorrow. Everton haven't put a 90-minute performance in this season. I think the best performance Everton have probably put in was 55 minutes against Manchester City. That was probably the longest period of a game that Everton have been in a game. You know, we give Liverpool a good game in the second half, but it's flat. It's flat at the minute, you know, and I'm going to go as far as saying, and I've been thinking about this, whether I should say this. I know we were unbeaten at home. We were. But we haven't been great at all, Michael, and the atmosphere hasn't helped. And, you know, when David Moyes come in, our away form was really, really good. It was really, really good. That's bottlenecked off now as well. That's fell a bit flat. So changes need to be made, whether it be personnel, whether it be to the setup, whether it be to his in-game substitutions, whether it be his in-game tactics. you know, a different team, putting James Garner right back or left back, starting Merlin Rowe, see what Barry can give us for 6 games, give Tyler Dibblin a run. He needs to look at doing that now, because what he's been sticking to is not working.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I'm actually glad you've brought up the stadium, because I wanted to talk about the stadium really. So obviously we saw at the weekend about the rugby at the stadium, and certain things, you know, look, there's going to be things that will annoy people about what happened, and I quite like the little Everton short that they did where the lady walks around and she said, I don't like the colour red. You know, little things like that I quite liked. And, you know, there's a lot of Liverpool fans who were jumping out their seat, the fact that it was called the Liverpool Rugby Stadium or something on TV, and there was red smoke and stuff above the stadium and all of that. But ultimately, that is England's colours in the rugby. So, you know, I'm not losing any sleep at all over that. I'm not. All I'm bothered about is the amount of money the stadium generates. But there was a lot of fans who were not Evertonians who went to that ground, who watched the game, who spoke really highly of the stadium, who loved the atmosphere. There was some even saying that they wanted it to be the England national rugby stadium. They wanted it to be there, full stop, which is great endorsements for the stadium. But the common things come up. Can't get drinks quick enough. Obviously, in rugby, they're drinking constantly. You know, I think they can drink at the seats, whatever. You know, it's a proper day out. I mean, to be fair, John, you're probably in the wrong sport, mate. You'd love the rugby, you, mate.
I tell you what, it's a good job I don't, really, isn't it?
But realistically, mate, could you imagine the two of us? Oh, my God.
I'm not being funny. You'd be like Gaz and I'd be like George Best within 12 months.
But when you look at the infrastructure, you know, I am worried that as we progress as a football team, and we do hope we progress, we do expect we're going to progress, I'm worried about these things. You know, that was a rugby event where we couldn't service the alcohol, and getting away from the stadium yet again was an absolute nightmare, called out from both sets of fans. It's things like that worry me about Everton. And then on top of that, you are right to mention it. Look, there'll be a lot of people that will criticise it. There'll be a lot of people that disagree with us. But the atmosphere in that stadium at the minute is horrendous. It's absolutely horrendous. It's quiet. There's no singing. There's only singing, or there's the clapping or the roar when we're like getting behind the team or whatever. And look, we actually made comments on Goodison for years. I remember at Goodison where, you know, a winger would run down the wing and you'd hear the claps of the seats. And I used to love it. You know, 13, 14-year-old Mike used to love that. You don't get any of it. You don't get any of it. And I'm worried. I'm worried that because of the club is in, not a mess, we're not in a mess now, but because we're not in necessarily a great period yet, because we're not in that, you know, easy to get to situation with the stadium. You know, there's no, to me, I still find it mind-boggling that there isn't a dock at the stadium to get a water boat from the stadium to the other side. I don't understand why they can't do that. I don't get it. You'll know better than me, mate. I have no idea. But I don't understand why something like that isn't in place. Getting away from the ground, you know, the bridge the one side, the walk the other way. The park by the stadium, you can't get out the road at the top. You'll know the road. I don't know it, but you'll know the dual carriageway at the top. They corner a bus lane off of it as well. So it's even worse. But all of these infrastructure things and the fact we're not playing very well, I think are hitting everyone to the point where there's loads of spares available. You know, people are not going. I don't think we've had a sellout so far when we were all screaming for 62,000. And I read an article earlier about how Everton do plan on expanding, and they were talking about this 10-year plan. Now, look, it could all be rubbish. It's on one of the fan media websites, etc. It could be a load of rubbish. But they were saying the biggest that it can get to is 62,000. And I sit there now thinking, well, the infrastructure can't cope with 52,000. So how do we do that? Do you get what I mean? The whole stadium, it feels flat.
I don't think you can fix the infrastructure. I think we're always going to have that problem because of where it is. You know, I don't see how they can improve it unless they put a train station right next to it on one of the empty docks next to it and fill that in. Then I think it's always going to be a struggle to get to and from the stadium. It's like my cousin Barry, who's got the little disabled lad. He gets a ticket to park in the Everton car park, but he won't go there because his little lad Reggie, his head will fall off because they let about 3 cars out, then they stop so the crowds can walk past, then they stop them. Little Reggie wouldn't be able to sit there for an hour and a half and that. You know, people are paying to park in the Everton car park. They've paid for extra season tickets to get a parking space. You know, they've gone to jump through loopholes to get a blue badge to be able to park in there. And it's poor. It's poor. You know, the train station, they've had 7 years, mate. 7 years to plan the transport. And they still haven't got it right. And I honestly don't think they will. Going back to what you were saying about people saying about the stadium, I've seen a couple of supporters who went yesterday were saying the stadium 10 out of 10, atmosphere 10 out of 10, toilets 1 out of 10, bars 0 out of 10. I haven't had a problem. Personally, I haven't had a problem.
I haven't.
No. I normally go down 5 or 10 minutes before, and if there's a queue, I'll just go to the self-service one. Never had a problem going to the toilet. I suppose, I mean, I've heard a few Everton fans saying they have a nightmare in one of the certain stands. It's shocking. You know, you can't get served. The toilets queuing up for 10 minutes. I think it does all depend where you are. Now, I'm in the lower south. So the south stand, for the size of it, is going to have more toilets. It's going to have more bars. It's going to have more food outlets. Maybe that's why I'm finding it easy. I don't know. But we go back to, if we were having success on the pitch and we were excited to go the game and that, little things like that wouldn't bother you. But when you've watched a half of football that's being shit, you know, and it's freezing and it's pissing down, and you just want to go and get a warm cup of tea and you go to the food cellar, and because that many people have gone down because it's that cold and the game's that rubbish, people are struggling to get served. If we were playing good football and there was exciting football, people wouldn't leave the seat as early. So it works both ways. And we go back to the atmosphere, which I mentioned first, and you followed up on it. It works both ways. Yes, we have to get behind the players. We have to give the players a lift. But they've got to give us a lift, Michael. They're the ones who should be giving us a lift. They're the ones who should be getting bums off seats, as I always say. You know, getting us excited, hearing them seats bounce. You probably won't hear them because the plastic like Goodison where they were wood, but you get what I'm saying. You know, you could watch it if someone was running down the line. You'd see the crowd going up along the line, like where they were going to do the Mexican wave, you know, stuff like that, because heads just went up and up and up and up. We're not getting it. We're not getting it, and I'm going to say it now, and again, I'll probably get shot down for this. The stadium's fantastic. The outside is fantastic. It looks something to behold. Inside, the drone videos, Nick, Mr. Drone, his videos, nothing wrong with his videos, by the way, but he didn't do it justice until you actually walk in there and see it. It's fantastic. It's magnificent. But the atmosphere is shit. And
yeah,
it's good. It'll never, ever, ever, ever be Goodison Park, and it never will be. In a way, I don't want it to be. I don't want it to be. But I want it to be a lot better than what it is at the minute. And I'll be honest, for every Everton fan, and I'll probably speak for the majority of us, the excitement we had, I don't think it's lived up to its billing.
I just think the whole thing around it is, you know, like we were, what game was it? Do you know what? It might have been Palace. It might have been Palace, and we were 1-1, and we were fighting to win the game at the end, and we were trying to get a point or two, or to get 3, etc. And you could see people walking out the stadium because they want to beat the traffic, they want to beat the queues, and
people getting off at 1-1.
All of it is like, it's just a shame. That's the point I'll make. It's just a shame, and it's difficult. It's difficult because, you know, I was saying to Finn, it's actually added an hour onto my journey home every game because I can't get out of the area because of the traffic. I have to drive. I have to drive. It is the cheapest, the easiest. I park at Flyers, as everyone knows. I go the game, I get in the car, and from Flyers, I drive up Vandry Street to the top because I'm not allowed out the bottom. So I get onto, what road is it?
Great Howard Street.
Right. That's one lane. The bus lane goes across it, takes one lane, and it will be gridlock for 20 minutes before the end of the game and an hour and a bit until after. So you can't double back around and go down the tunnel because they shut the road for the station as well. So you literally are going the wrong direction for 3 miles, in my case. Whereas at Goodison, it was surrounded by roads. So although there was congestion,
there
was always a road. It's been frustrating.
But you know the bad thing about it, that Great Howard Street, which is the top road, what you're talking about, that only got finished 12, 18 months ago, and they were working on that for 3 years. That's all a brand new layout. That is brand new. The road's always been there, but they've put you can't do as many turns in the road anymore. You know, they've changed all the curbs, the central reservation. 3 years they spent on that, obviously getting ready for the Hill Dickinson Stadium. And I think it's been an absolute boo-boo.
Yeah, it's poor. It's poor. Right, look, let's just mention tomorrow, because we have got a cheeky little watch-along going on. Me and John will be live from about 7:45, 7:50. We tend to do a 5-minute build-up, and then we're sort of on from 7:50. So me and John will be there. I just really, I mean, it sounds awful, but I hope it's a positive one.
Well, I don't think people can blame us for feeling the way we are. And I'm not being funny, mate. If you look at the comments from the match preview, I'd say out of every 10 comments, there was probably one who were quite positive, saying we might get a cheeky draw. A lot of them comments, mate, were saying Everton will get beat 3-0. Everton will get beat 2-0. They're worried about the score. Could be a cricket score. I think everyone sort of got the same mindset now. And as I said to you on the match preview, and I said to everybody else, we need a positive result. We need a positive team selection. We need some positivity around Everton Football Club at the minute. And no better way to do it, to go to the stadium late tomorrow and come away with 3 points. I think it'll give everyone a huge lift. And I think the majority, if not everyone of this fan base, needs that at the minute.
Yeah, spot on. Good ending as well there, John. Well done. It's like you've rehearsed that bit, mate. Now, look, people will say that John looks like Casper the Ghost today, and I look probably slightly darker.
Yeah, but I'm in the computer room, and I've got a big light there. I need to, I don't know. I don't need to go in the sunbed.
By computer room, it means the cupboard under the stairs. It's brilliant. It's absolutely the internet's been ropey as well. He's sort of been like,
that's it.
You've just been sticking every so often. It's all right, don't worry.
But you don't get this is what you get for not having a studio, isn't it? But we wouldn't want a studio. We like it like this. Who's the footballer who does that? Peter Crouch.
Peter Crouch. Yeah. Haaland did it today. I saw Haaland do it as well.
He's a phenomenon. Him. He's just like
Bournemouth were good. Bournemouth were good the first 20 minutes, and then they were 1-0 down.
Mate, if you look at Bournemouth today with the performance they put in again, league position doesn't lie. Bournemouth played like a second-place team today.
Yeah. Well, let's hope that Everton play like a first-place team tomorrow. Yeah. Right, look, we will leave it there. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. It's been a pleasure as always. Sorry the video is negative, but you know what? Every so often we're going to throw one in. You know, we're not top of the league.
Every so often? Jesus.
Right, up the top.
Things will change after tomorrow when we win.
Yeah, and we are 13th.
Yeah. But how many points are we behind? How many points are we behind the Champions League?
Don't know. The gap's getting wider by the week, mate.
Well, let's have a look.
Champions League,
So
18.
Champions League is 18th, Bournemouth, and Everton are 11. So what would be funny? Maybe we're only 7 points behind. It's only 2 wins and a draw.
Mate, honestly, if we win our next 6 games, we'll be Champions League.
If we win the next 6 games, get your passports out, folks, because we're all going on a European tour.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. It's only Sunderland away, Fulham at home, Man United away, Newcastle at home, Bournemouth away, and Forest at home.
Newcastle were poor today, mate. Did you see the changes you made at half time?
Oh, mate, I love it. I absolutely love it.
Walter made it off. I think Gordon went off, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Well,
Look at that. Well, they can make them sort of subs, and what do we do? Take Beto off for Barry.
I tell you, the player that I can't wait on seeing coming back is Harrison Armstrong, because he seems to be brilliant. He seems to be really, really good. They're absolutely raving about him at Preston.
I'd love if there was a recall in January.
I could see him playing. I genuinely could see him playing. I think the loan move hasn't been a bad thing, obviously, but I could have seen him having minutes in this first team this season. I really could have.
It's not being funny. If he couldn't get in this team, he wouldn't get in any team, would he? Because let's be honest about it, we're screaming out for someone like that.
Yeah, spot on, John. Right, look, we'll see you there. Up the toffees.